Oh, I was waiting for the drum to do that. There we go. Oh,
Hello, everybody. Hello. We've dropped ourselves into another episode of Live with Cheryl. Welcome, season 5, season whatever. We're just glad you're along for the ride. I am Cheryl Mebane, and this is Dr. Felicia Mebane, and we are talking about all kinds of updates and creative things and health, and we mix it all together and we try to keep it pretty quick. For those of y'all who have been here before, you're going to hear a range of things. There's lots because we haven't seen each other since, well, all of us collectively in this format since about a month ago. So that's a lot. I had a whole Black History Month, having a whole Women's History Month, and a whole lot of other stuff going on in the world right now. I hope everybody's okay. How you doing, Dr. Felicia? Our public health ninja.
well, I mean, will be apolitical and whatnot, but the thing is that change can be traumatic, whether you think it's good or not. And there seems to be a lot of chaos and turmoil that folks are dealing with. So it is good to check in on that for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, like you said, any way you look at it is challenging. Change is challenging. If you
Mm-hmm.
welcomed it, if you didn't, it happens anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And hopefully we all can try to help each other out and be kind to each other no matter what end of the things you end up on. Kindness doesn't kill us, I tell you that. But I want to keep things a little bit more on the creative side before we get into some more things that range widely, including how we can keep ourselves healthy, including how we can help each other through challenging things. So, but I want to kick off with one of the usual segments. I was trying to see if we already had a chat. I'm going to have to just keep, hello, everyone out there who's chatting, but I'm going to have to get us into one of our early segments here and welcome everyone who is listening on all different social media and checking me out and checking Dr. Felicia out. So I want to go to updates as I create. So I didn't do a big emphasis on my background. I do a whole lot of creative things, screenwriting, music, acting, a lot of creative problem solving when I'm helping train AI models, just a lot of things. But what I want to do is update everybody systematically. So for some people who are following along and following certain things, y'all will know where to find them and y'all will be able to know the updates that y'all can get as I create different things. Okay. So going ahead and starting off, this is a time of year where I'm getting into screenwriting. I think in the past I've shared different social media things that people have used to help us push our creative writing ideas out there into the world so people might scoop them up and try to produce things. So I think those who've been around with Live with Cheryl before, I've been doing screenwriting for several years and I've had some things get a little, hey, thumbs up, take you to the quarterfinals of a reputable contest and people interested in packaging my things along with their things. I'm out there in these streets as a screenwriter trying to help other people and help myself and learn and grow. So I've been doing that and I'm now kicking off the month here of March. I'm writing a new screenplay. So y'all, I'm excited and I'm buzzing with ideas and there's all kinds of good things. It's like a sci-fi thing. I'm doing a sci-fi thing again. So, but not with a fantasy element. No fantasy element this time. Okay. Anyway, but I love that I wrote the other one, but since I already did that, I'm doing something different. So I'm very excited about it. And as my husband Tim said, it's very Cheryl, meaning there's a lot of stuff that gets into things that I really care about as themes, and I will let y'all know more about it when it's taking shape because it's in the first couple of pages right now. Like I got out of the outlining stage. There's a lot of pre-writing I've been learning to do, taking different courses on screenwriting, and for those who just run and gun and just type, that's all great. Whatever your process is that works, do your thing. I'm one of the folks who does a little bit of pre-writing. I don't do super long outlines anymore, but I like to do consideration of my beats and making sure my characters have been pushed in opposition to each other these different ways. So it helps me feel like I know my characters before I sit down and start putting them in a scene. And then they start surprising you no matter what. But you at least feel like where you're going to start off and then they just take you and then you go.
I was gonna say, you mean that really happens? I've heard writers say that, but that's so interesting.
I feel like it does because I don't do a super heavy process of need to have everything plotted out in an analytical way before I sit and I write. I imagine for people who do something like that, maybe things don't surprise as much, but somebody who was expert, I can't remember who it was, so I can't give the proper credit, but someone out there was saying, if you get into a scene and it doesn't surprise you as the writer, you're not doing something right. And I was like, you know what? I sort of get it. I really do, because a lot of us have had a chance to hear a lot of stories over the decades from books and yeah. And so if you are trying to do something as a, especially as a person like myself who's trying to break in, if you're trying to do that, you got to keep people sort of like, oh, I haven't really, oh, okay, I didn't know. Oh, all right. And it's not to say to a point where it's nonsensical, but just there's a lot of ideas out there. Put something in your stuff that people hadn't seen before. It's okay. We can do it. We can do it.
Well, I was just thinking, I was like, how does that happen? But if you have a character that's going to behave like the character and the characters are not you, they're going to do
Yes.
things you wouldn't do. So it might just logically lead you somewhere like, whoa, wait, okay, didn't anticipate that, but that makes sense. Oh, I just had, I mean, seriously, I was like, oh, that's how that might work.
That's
Okay.
right. Because you have a cast of characters, you're right, and a lot of us do. And what you'll do sometimes is have a character that's close to you that you know a lot of and you sort of know what they're going to say in a situation. But then you might have a character that's like somebody you really like and you want to like hang out with that person because you just like that personality, you think they're funny and everything. So you put them in, you know, and then you don't know exactly what joke they're going to crack because really that's not your humor. You know what I mean? So you just be like, well, what would he say? What would she say? Oh, she would say that. He would say that. And it'll get you, or there'll be somebody that you sort of want to stick it to. And so you put that character in and you really don't know what they're going to say, but you sure enough want them to say a lot. So when you stick it to them, there's some justification. People are like, yeah, stick it to him, stick it to him, stick it to him, or her. So yeah, sometimes, but I think it's around the dialogue. That's what I feel is really surprising, is what will come out of characters' mouths. I guess I'm writing a lot of dramas that involve a whole lot of interpersonal interactions, and they're probably not super dialogue heavy, but lean toward dialogue heavy. So that's what I'm seeing as surprising. I think for folks who are very action oriented, maybe they'll have characters do a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So maybe if you're writing it up, yeah, maybe they would surprise you in their action. Slap somebody. Why they slap them? Oh my gosh, what we gonna do now? And no, they didn't. They just stormed out. How you storm out? Get back here. The scene is not done. No, but I think if you are following some of people's recommendations, what you want to do is instead of having polite everybody anyway characters and everybody sort of just reining themselves in, you want to let the characters be pushed. So even if you base them on yourself, okay, there's a trait you have that you try to tamp down because you want to be sociable and you don't want people to kick you out of every social circle. But then if you have that character that's sort of built on you, you got to push that trait so things can happen that'll be dramatic, that'll have some tension and release. And so then even if it's based on you, you're like, well, this person has it to this extent, and I went to therapy, so I don't have that anymore that I got to deal with like that. If I'm calling for backup, if I got that going on anymore, so you know that's what you got to do. Push the characters, push the concepts, and then push the scenes. So a lot of things happen in each one. But for those who don't pre-write, I'm not shaming y'all at all. If y'all love the adventurous, there's the blank page, typey, 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 the blank screen, see where you end up. I have done some longer form stuff that was more like that. But in the end, I think for me trying to be very professional and get these things done in a timely manner, I'm trying to lean on things that let me get to creative ideas, but also do so efficiently. So I welcome anyone who wants to ask me what kind of resources I'm using. I've been going to different sites. Studio Binder is one I've been going to for some of the pre-writing things. There's probably a bunch of sites out there, but I found them really useful in terms of presenting typical outline structures in a really condensed way. So you can grab up reminders of where you might want to put certain things. As everybody's characters are going to be different, everybody's story is going to be different, but the structures can be quite similar because it tends to be effective. So if y'all want resources, just let me know because I've been leaning on them and I'll write during the day and then at night I'll sort of like review these resources and sort of have stuff percolating in my mind so I can typey, typey, typey the next day. So that's going on. I've been enjoying that. And that is the main thing I'm pushing on right now. But I've also been doing things with music. As y'all know, I'm still pitching music that I was remixing in a big push earlier this year. I think February was my push on remixing certain things that I have been writing over the years of time. So I'm still, of course, learning and growing online in all kinds of areas of my business. I'm still trying to grow and reach out. And I've been blessed to get up with other more independent, not sort of based in big studios and big labels and things, musicians who are sharing what they know. And so I went to a webinar today, this afternoon, about mixing, and it was really good. It was a blend of just little gems that you don't quite hear all the time with tried and true basics on mixing. And I was listening to that through a group called Sync Songwriters. And if anyone's interested in that, they have training going on that right now. I'm focused on some other things in terms of investment, big investment in training. Like I just invested in getting a lot of resources to help me launch the keynote side of my business, which I have updates on that as well. But they also have some more intensive kind of supports, and they offer training that seems pretty legit. Like they were giving you a little peek into some things like a month or so ago. Then they also have special things because they have a good community of folks who tap them, and they have relationships not just with songwriters and musicians, but also with music supervisors. So sync in this case is syncing your music to video. So when we're trying to get licenses, we're trying to get sync licenses for people to use our originals and sometimes covers in music for TV, usually streaming, film, just all kinds of capacities with video. So you're syncing with video. So I learned a whole lot today, and I was sort of surprised that I had time to do it, but I've been balancing different parts of my business pretty well. And I think that community around Sync Songwriter is pretty great. And I might in the future squirrel away some of my bigger investments for my education in future years to try to get up with them, because it seems like a lot of people not only learn, but they also have sort of community around people who are taking those courses, listening to each other's stuff, giving feedback to each other's stuff. And you need a good set of ears to help you along faster, because you got yours and then they get tired and then you sort of make decisions and you block out stuff and you're like, anybody else comes in, they're like, well, what about that? Like, yeah, I know I thought about that last week, but I sort of just was getting on to other stuff. So it's really good to have people do that kind of thing. And so that has been a real blessing for me to surprise, get an injection of good ideas, because I've been getting feedback on things, encouraging about my top line writing and singing, and then saying, okay, now that you got that going on, let's get that mix right. And I'm like, okay, how do I do that? I thought I was okay. And so some of what this was a master class saying a lot of people can have a good mix if you really want to get the real deal, really great opportunities for yourself. And this is not just for syncing to film and TV, but this is, the opportunities to mix for really big stages for people, honestly, and really big artists. If you want to be able to do that, then there's some tricks of the trade. And then if you're trying to compete with people who have that kind of experience and you're doing your own mixes, then you might need to dip over and have some of those tricks of the trade. So I was appreciative of that. I do want to outsource a lot of that, but on the way to not yet having someone to do that for me, I'm going to keep learning. You probably can appreciate that, Dr. Felicia. Ongoing and continuing education. That's something that everybody's got to do. Keep on learning, keep on growing. So that's around the music side of things. And just another update for folks. If y'all have been following me on YouTube, I did take my originals down in order to assure folks who want to collaborate with me that if there are people who want to sync my material and they're a little concerned that, oh, it's already out. Okay, so then I pulled it back. And I've been doing that. And so if you want to check out some of the things, you got to come to Live with Cheryl to hear some of the originals. And also for patrons, I have been putting up not just the first keynote that I put together, my first sort of mini keynote is up there on Patreon, but also patreon.com/Cheryl Mebane for my patrons out there. Thank you, patrons. I also have my music is still up there because that's behind a paywall. That's not just out for everybody. So I don't think anybody's going to have any kind of trepidation about everybody enjoying that stuff over there. So also, since I mentioned Keynote, coming up, I'm going to have, for those who are patrons, This month is going to be an improvisational show for folks. It's probably going to be connected to some of the things I've been writing because I'm probably going to want to like improv like in the characters' voices, but we'll see. I got a couple weeks before I decide that. But it's going to be something that is improv. And then in April, I'm going to go back. Sorry, no, there's going to be in April. I'm not sure what show I'm going to do, but there's going to be improv show for the normal this month's show for patrons at the top 2 tiers. Then I'm also going to throw in bonus material where I'm going to go ahead and do the second, third, and final third of a full 1 hour keynote. So those are going to be up for patrons. So the first thing I put up was like a mini keynote, a little introduction thing, like if you get invited to take 15 minutes and show people what you got, that's the kind of thing I had. So for crafting the longer thing, there's going to be 3 songs, 3 stories, kind of arrangement of things, and that's what I'm going to be sharing also over there on Patreon. So if y'all want to get a sneak peek and a taste even before I have more materials that come from that keynote booking of my like keynote 0, like this is what I mentioned last time, where it's not going to be at my usual rate. It's going to be at a discounted rate, heavily discounted rate, so I can go ahead and get a lot of my marketing materials for this keynote like 0.0. I don't know. I don't want to call it 0 because 0 sounds like nothing, but really it's just heavily discounted rate for folks. So I can go ahead and get myself up and going with really good videos and other marketing materials in this version of me doing speaking. So essentially, y'all know I've done tours and speaking a lot, but this is a different format with my new music and with me singing instead of just drumming. I'm going to be also drumming in these keynotes, but so it's me rebranding, and I need the visuals, I need the materials so people will know, so then they'll pay me a lot of money. So that's what I'm going to be doing when I do the very first keynote, and even before that, folks on Patreon can check it out. So you got updated on the keynotes, y'all know what's going on with music, you're aware of the screenwriting. Over there in the land of me training AI models, lots of fun things, y'all. I mean, they just keep me hopping with different opportunities, and I'm just not knowing which way I'm going to land with certain things because there's new things every week. I'm like, oh, y'all want me to do this? Okay, I'll try. Okay, well, maybe talk to me. So we'll see where things go. Next time I update y'all, there could be more exciting things I'm going to share, or I just keep doing what I've been doing for several months, which has been a lot of fun. I've been training AI models using my STEM background, and that lets me regularly enjoy using those skills and getting paid for that. So y'all, I've been doing that. I know it's been up and down for me doing that, trying to suss out the whole gig working in the STEM area. It's very different than gig working as an actor or a musician. So the culture there is different. I'm sure folks who have a lot of experience in tech might have a lot of knowledge about the culture over there, but I don't have a lot of that experience. I've come up in like academia and federal work and all kinds of different places on different industries. So here I am, and I'm just like, oh, that's how y'all do. Okay, well, all right, let me readjust. Okay, and it's been a good experience though. So that's what's going on over there. Hopefully, I'll have updates next time we meet with Live with Cheryl, which is going to be. Let me just go ahead while I'm thinking about it and let y'all know it's going to be in a month because I am doing a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to do Live with Cheryl,
Yes,
not
like
super
no
often.
kidding. I'm like, I feel like I went, take a breath. That was so much.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep the pace of Live with Cheryl sort of up without just slamming y'all with so many words and things. But it seems like a lot. I'm trying to, it's a whole month. When we have Live with Cheryl
Oh,
every
that's
two
I see.
weeks, it's a little bit less I'm trying to pack in, but as it is, we're going to see each other again April 3rd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And so April 3rd will be the next time. There'll be another month's worth of things to like talk about it, throw at you. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. But I just wanted y'all to be aware of that since I was thinking about it. And 8:30 is still a good time. And y'all can, of course, see Live with Cheryl later on if you can't make it right at 8:30. But cruising on over from the AI training, as far as
Uh-oh.
acting, you're okay. You can go.
No, I'm okay. I just bent down. So a lot of my gray hair is here. So when I get a glimpse of it, I'm like, oh, because
I
it's
think it's great. I'm like,
I know. I'm like, oh, okay. We'll just
I
anyway.
like this. It's like, oh. It's like, oh.
It's funny because when I was younger, in my 20s, I thought, oh my God, gray hair. Now I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, that's how I feel about
Doesn't
it.
bother me at all.
I feel like it stands out and it's interesting, and I think in so many things in life, that's probably a little bit more appealing in certain
Yeah,
ways than just
yeah.
blends in.
It's okay. You know, I
So
am
just
of a certain age at this point, and therefore, there you go. Gray
yeah,
hair.
and I personally love it when people love whatever they're doing. If they want to
Right.
die or whatever you want to do, just love what you're doing, y'all, because
Hmm.
especially when it comes to like our hair and stuff, a lot of this is it's just what we sort of want. As long as at work we can get through whatever we got to get through, uh, then it's just up to us to decide what we really want. So probably embrace that kind of stuff. It's been a long journey for me trying to embrace aesthetics. It's sort of like you're conforming to what people want around you who have power over you. If you're a kid, that's your parents. If you're in school, maybe the teachers, and if you workplace, there's other things. But then when you get home, let your hair down, put your hair up, dye it, put a wig on, whatever, whatever. Try to enjoy ourselves. Be silly, mess around. Let your 4.5-year-old do your hair. He's actually good at that. I'm just gonna say it. He's gifted because what he does is he has fun, and then all of a sudden something will be
Uh,
up, and it'll be like, "Oh, that's sort of cute, though."
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
That's funny.
now y'all might think, "Oh, Cheryl, he's only better than just you, though," and that's true. My standard is quite low. I don't do a whole lot with the
That's
tresses,
funny. I see
but
hearts in the
have
chat
fun.
though.
Would you say what's going on in
I
the
see
chat?
hearts in the chat.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
hearts in the chat. Are
I
those
think
hearts for
it was your son,
the
I think.
hairdresser that I have? I mean,
Yeah.
my son,
Yeah.
he's fabulous. I do love a good heart. Let me hop over there in the chat and see what Dr. Felicia's talking about because I don't want to miss out. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, I see. I see. Hearts. Oh, hey, CB. Hey, hey. Hi, hi, and
It's just
hearts to
C.
you.
So,
What'd you say,
it's
Dr.
just
Felicia?
C, not, well, I only see C, not CB.
I went over into the space where
Oh, okay.
they are chatting, and
Okay.
so I saw more.
Got it.
Uh, but hi, hi and bye, hi. But yeah, we're gonna be high and by soon. We're gonna be
Did
high
you
and by
see
really
it?
soon because
Did
we're
you see the
wrapping up soon.
chat?
What do you say?
Take a look at the chat again.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
This
So
is good news.
this is good news, y'all. So right now, because sometimes my little one stays up a little bit later. Right now, my husband has informed me that my hairstylist is asleep. Yes, yes, yes. So this is really good. Now sometimes he'll be asleep even before I start live with Cheryl. But today, this is the blessing. I'm just gonna take the blessing, okay, y'all. I'm gonna take this blessing. So then he can dream of different hairstyles for mommy. I don't know. Let's not emphasize that. He dreams about dinosaurs and a lot of robotic things. That's the truth. And then when he just sees mommy's hair, he's just like, and this. He doesn't even think ahead. Just put it and that. Okay. So I did want y'all to know last couple things connecting to being online and learning because we usually do a health trivia, and I was trying to emphasize a little bit of with my art journey. I've been learning, growing, stretching myself, and it just feels like this is what we got to do. Not just because there's change now, there's change all the time. And there's also we want to do more for ourselves and others, so we learn, we take courses online, we do all kinds of things. I've renewed my subscription to masterclass.com. Y'all probably have your favorite places y'all go to learn things online or different YouTube videos I've been watching, not just for fun things, I also watch those, but also for like tips about like screenwriting and acting and all kinds of things on there. There's some very gifted people out there doing all kinds of teaching and just showing what they do. And it's just a lot of fun. So today's health trivia connects to that. And it also connects to the trivia we had last week because I just think if there's a good idea, maybe we just can't emphasize it enough. I don't know. So, when it comes to learning and trying to get our brains as they age, or our brains, even when we're very young, to function really well, like if you were young and super sharp, let's say, what can be really beneficial? So, for those of us who are thinking about getting into our middle years, our elder years, the question that I was looking at online is as follows. If there's a fountain of youth, what is it? It is A, much coffee, B, little sleep, C, exercise. And this is emphasizing for your cognitive function, sort of a fountain of youth to help you maybe reverse certain things that age might make more difficult. So I'm going to play a little bit of music, y'all, in case music helps you think. I know it helps me get down and wiggle around. So I'm play a little bit of music and let y'all think about it.
You ever have one of those moments, right there, one of those moments when you realize something, hey now, you really need to shake things up. Bye-bye tightrope walking, I think it's time to strut, feels nice.
All right, y'all, feels nice, but we're getting to the end of our time. So
Oh,
let's
man.
see if,
Where'd the music go?
I know I do enjoy my own music. Thank you, Dr. Felicia. So I don't see an answer in the chat right now. So Dr. Felicia, do you want to field this for everybody out there and go ahead and take a, yes, see, indeed. So I found a couple of resources online, and I was sort of used to looking at things from a perspective of over time, we need to think about ways to sort of reverse the impact of aging on our cognitive function. But there were some resources I found. They were like, there could be some benefits to aging because you've gotten used to doing a lot of things. You can block some things out that you don't like. But this source here from, I think it was Georgia State University, was emphasizing things that are a little bit more common, what you see out there, which is thinking about trying to reverse some of the negative impacts of aging on our cognitive function. They were just saying, come on now, exercise, because it is basically like a fountain of youth in that it can reverse some of the tendencies for what will go on with our brains over time if we engage in exercise. I will let y'all check that resource out yourselves, but it was mentioning sleep also, but not too little sleep though. That was the trick there when I had one of the selections y'all could have chosen. The fountain of youth is not too little sleep. Oh, no. So they did also mention the benefits of sleep. And I think we also talked about some of this last week. I think we had something related to exercise when it comes to just be able to get ourselves through all kinds of things, think more clearly, help ourselves manage stress and strain. But are there enough reasons? Do we have enough reasons to exercise? We have so many reasons to exercise. I need to go stretch right now. So I want to thank y'all for listening. Exactly. Okay, let's do it. Turn that music back on, get some wiggles in. Y'all, thanks for listening out there. Dr. Felicia, thanks for joining. Thanks, patrons, for supporting. And again, let's all help each other out right now. Lots of change going on, lots of reasons to exercise so we can think clearly and see what we're going to do about what's going on, y'all. Help each other out, share information. I try to do that here. Dr. Felicia tries to do that here as well. And y'all, in the comments, let me know if you want any resources that I mentioned for me to share with y'all as links and things. And y'all, just see you for the next Live with Cheryl, April 3rd, 8:30 p.m. And if you got any questions about any of my AI training, any of the research that I'm doing, any of my screenwriting, acting, any of the music, any of the anythings, keynote concerts, reach out to me. I'm still looking to be booked for a keynote, the launching keynote, my keynote 0.0. So reach out, y'all, and be well. So Dr. Felicia, do you want to hear more of the Live with Cheryl theme song, or do you want to hear the song we were just listening to?
The song we were just listening to.
Okay, perfect. Okay, y'all, take care and let's get to it and bop on out.
Silence clouds, school talking bozos. They've said enough. Shut up now. Oh, that's right. And forget fire breathing bosses. They can kiss my butt. I said, and go on with the rest. And you can skip those 2 bits for payment. Go while worth and gold they claim it. Grab what's yours. Why do we look and leave, look and leave, look and leave? When some folks fear the fall, fear the fall, fear the fall. Fear the fall, fear the fall. If we move, we take it all. We're all that take it all. We're all that take it all. We rise up, and if we move, we take it all. We're all that take it all. Won't stop till we're high up. We feel gold, platinum, diamond, so bold.
All right, Felicia, we finished it up.
Whew. I like that. It's very interesting.